Georgia and Arizona were key to Democrats gaining control of the U.S. Senate in 2020, and now in 2022, they are two battleground states with vulnerable Senate Democrats. NBC's Bree Jackson traveled to both states and talked with voters about the hotly contested races.
Control of the U.S. Senate could come down to voters in a handful of battleground states, including Arizona.
I'm hoping that it's not just going to be a red wave, but it's going to be a tsunami.
Currently, the Grand Canyon state is represented by two Democratic senators, Kyrsten Sinema and Mark Kelly.
This is not a blue state. Mark Kelly, Democratic senator, is in a real fight to hold his seat.
My NBC colleague, Bram Resnick, says Senator Kelly faces a tough task of connecting with voters outside his party.
If you're going to win here, you need the independent voters, and you also need a sliver of Republicans.
It's time to get back to law and order.
The Republican challenger, Blake Masters, is endorsed by former President Donald Trump. He has also benefited from strong campaigning by another Republican on the ballot this midterm, gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake. Both have echoed GOP concerns about inflation, immigration, and Arizona's 2020 election results.
It's what happened after 2020 and the denial of the election results.
Notably, Arizona was one battleground state where election results were contested and lost by former President Donald Trump. Another was Georgia. Both states were key to Democrats gaining control of the U.S. Senate. Georgia Senators Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock won runoff elections in 2020. Now, Warnock is up for re-election.
I think we have a senator who has done a terrific job, who has sponsored legislation, who's worked across the aisle.
When I look at, the voting record of Raphael Warnock at 96% of the time of Joe Biden, I'm sorry, he's not helping Georgia, and in fact, he's hurting Georgia and our businesses.
The Democrat is running neck and neck with his Republican opponent, Herschel Walker. Georgia voters are turning out in record numbers to weigh in on who should represent them in Washington.
Georgia is becoming more of a swing state. As I grew up here, it was always red, and it's nice to see, people who have moved here really bring the state of Georgia to the forefront.
Georgia and Arizona, two states at the center of a fierce fight to control the U.S. Senate. Bree Jackson for NBC News.